frankly, they should be weighing in as well. Senator Cotton.
Thank you. Gentlemen, thank you for appearing. I want to bring a little perspective to the topic today. I think this committee's own report, more than 1,000 pages, said that Twitter users alone produced more election-related content in about 3 hours in 2016 than all Russian agents working together. I have no doubt that Russia and China and Iran and North Korea are all doing these things up to no good. And if you don't know what they're doing, it's probably no good. And there's lots of things they could do that are very bad to influence American politics. You know, Russian intelligence spent millions of dollars in the early 1980s to promote the nuclear freeze movement, with Joe Biden bought hook, line, and sinker. And Russian intelligence under Vladimir Putin has spent millions of dollars to oppose fracking, which Kamala Harris has bought hook, line, and sinker, trying to ban fracking. And there's plenty of things they could do in our election infrastructure as well. They could hack into campaigns and leak their strategy or steal their voter contact information. Even worse, they could hack into county clerk's offices or Secretary of State's offices and delete voter registration files or try to manipulate votes. They don't even have to get into the election machinery. They could, say, turn off the electricity in a major American city on election day and wreak havoc there. So there's a lot of threats that our adversaries could pose to us in our elections. I just don't think that memes and YouTube videos are among the top, especially when we have an example of election interference here in America that was so egregious. Some of your company's efforts in collusion with Joe Biden's campaign, led by the current Secretary of State, to suppress the factual reporting about Hunter Biden's laptop. Mr. Clegg, you acknowledged earlier that Facebook demoted that story after it was published by the New York Post. Is that right?
Correct, but I should clarify, we don't do that anymore.
Mr. Zuckerberg has said that you demoted it. He expressed regret. I assume you share that regret with your boss?
Yes.
And you share what he said, that you're not going to do it anymore, right?
Correct. So that demotion does not take place today.
And Mr. Walker, what about Google? Did Google suppress results about the Hunter Biden laptop?
We did not, sir. We ran an independent investigation. It did not meet our standards for taking any action, so it remained up on our services.
Okay. And Twitter, under the old regime there, was, I think as someone said, even more egregious than Facebook or other platforms. And again, this is domestic information operations, if you'd like to say. Far more influential on our elections than some memes or YouTube videos or articles that Russian intelligence agents or Chinese intelligence agents posted, which no doubt they do. Just look today, like the New York Times the other day had a fit that social media was awash. Awash, it said, in AI-generated memes of Donald Trump saving ducks and geese. I mean, are AI-generated memes of Donald Trump saving ducks and geese really all that dangerous to our election? Mr. Smith, you laughed, for the record. Do you want to answer my question? Are you worried about ducks and geese memes of Donald Trump saving them from predators?
I create a list of the greatest worries for this election, they do not involve ducks or geese.
I wouldn't think so. They don't seem like that to me either. Mr. Walker, Google famously did not autofill results of people searching for Donald Trump's, or assassination attempt Donald Trump a few weeks ago. What happened there? Why was that the result of your company's?
We've had a longstanding policy, Senator, of not associating terms of violence associated with political officials unless they had become a historic event. So assassination of Abraham Lincoln would have been allowed. Up until the weeks prior to the assassination attempt, it would have been deeply problematic, I think, to autocomplete assassination after a search for Donald Trump. Those terms are periodically updated. The assassination attempt occurred in between one of those periodic updates. It has subsequently been updated, and now autocompletes appropriate.
Okay, let me ask both your companies. This primarily Mr. Walker for Google and Mr. Clegg for Facebook. Gavin Newsom just signed a law, 3 laws actually in California, into effect that will criminalize the use of so-called deep fakes before an election. How do you plan to comply with that law? Are you going to go arrest people who are making AI-generated memes of Donald Trump running away with ducks and geese?
Senator, it's early for us to understand. We are just receiving the laws, which were signed very recently. And we're looking at how we might best comply with a number of laws. There are quite a
Mr. Clegg,
few.
a lot of ducks and geese memes on your website. Mr. Smith thinks they're funny. He's laughing again. It's fine. People laugh at them. Satire and political humor is as old as our country. It's fine. I'm glad that you're not going to do again what you did in 2020, but I don't envy either of your companies dealing with what Gavin Newsom has done in California, or what many in this Congress propose to do, criminalizing and censoring core political speech. So, Mr. Clegg, do you have any idea how you're going to comply with California's law?
Well, it's only just been signed, so again, we would need probably to look at it more closely. But I think, Senator, your central point that there is a lot of playful and innocent and innocuous use of AI, and then there's duplicitous and egregious and dangerous use of AI. That is exactly why, as I think.
And I have to ask, my time's expired, I have to ask, who's going to draw that line? Who's going to decide what's playful, innocuous, and harmless, and what is misinformation and disinformation? And I got to say, some of the people you go to, like PolitiFact and Southern Poverty Law Center, don't strike me as quite neutral sources. And I don't think you're going to find neutral sources in the government of California or in this administration either.